Hey everyone, thank you for joining me with another episode from European Motors. Now you might be thinking, what is it like to drive a 6-speed E60 M5? Well, first of all, it is not the same as a SMG. Let me tell you, I have for a brief period driven the SMG M5, but I didn't drive it long enough to get a real good feel of how the car works and how it feels and so forth. So I can tell you I've owned this car a few months already, the 6-speed M5, and so I can tell you that I think I have a good enough impression of the car to give you an idea. Now, I have driven other cars. If you've seen my channel, you've known I've driven anything from the Aventador to Boxster, Porsche Boxsters, to Carreras. I've driven Ferraris, many different cars, and so I think that gives me a good idea, and again, it gives me a good impression. So if I could compare this car to another car, let's say a Porsche. Porsche has always had a kind of a heavy pedal clutch feel. This, of course, looking at the 996 or the 986. Compared to this, I would say that the E60 M5 has one of the most soft pedals I've ever felt. And I don't mean soft in a bad term. When you stick your foot all the way forward with the clutch pedal, it is the nicest feeling I think I've ever had. Before this car, I owned the E39 M5, and it was the same thing. It was a 6-speed manual. Let me tell you, that car was even a little bit firmer, and I prefer it like this. Think about this. This is a car that it's supposed to be driven every day. It's a car of luxury, has all these wonderful things to it, and so you're going to want to drive it as often as possible. Of course, it could be used as a weekend car, but I use mine as a daily driver. And so you want that pedal to be comfortable. You want not to be able to strain every time you push that pedal in. Why? Well, because you want that comfort, and this car definitely delivers that. So for anyone that's complaining about traffic, well, I live in one of the most trafficked areas in the world, Los Angeles, and I can tell you that driving this car in traffic is no big deal. It's not great of a... Now I can tell you that some people bash this 6-speed on this car, and I don't know why. I would say most of those people probably have not had this car, and the ones that have had this car and have bashed it probably have not driven many other cars, because I can tell you that having got a wide spectrum of vehicles, comparing it to this, like I said, this is probably one of the best clutch feels and one of the best short throws that I've probably ever driven. Of course, there's not many of these E60s out in production. Only about 900 were made in the whole world. They were only made in the United States, and so very few of them being out there. It's a hard car to pick up. The ones that are there are very rare and far in between, and if you do find one, you know, people are going to be fighting for it, or it's going to be really high price. So the instant you see them on the market, they are gone, and so I was very lucky to be able to get one. If you really do want to have a V10 and decide to buy either the E60 or the E63 M6, then go ahead and do it, but please know that maintenance comes along with it. An SMG clutch for that vehicle, I had a quote for someone who wanted one, it's about $7 grand. Parts and labor. It is a ridiculous amount versus something like this, which is just, well, a normal clutch, and so it's not that much of a headache. So if money is no object to you and you find an SMG and you really want an SMG, go ahead and get it, but be aware of the maintenance. For this, the maintenance is minimal in terms of the transmission, because hey, it's a 6-speed, it's a manual. What, you know, can really go wrong? All right, everyone, let's do a little bit of driving. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let me know down in the comments, what do you prefer? The E60 in a manual 6-speed or the E60 in an SMG transmission? Again, I'm very happy with my 6-speed, wouldn't change it for the world. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you want to see more M5 videos. I'll see you all next time.